Hey guys, Dave Anderson here, Helicool's Helipad. Well, last week's rain delay kind of turned into a little bit more of a delay. And I'll tell you why. The reason for the delay is, well, a couple of reasons really. One is I can't get the materials to finish this back wall. The other reason is, as well, it actually did rain for several days. In the middle of this video, I'm also going to show you what other things have caused me a delay. You guys stay tuned.
All right, now what the heck is going on? Well, call me crazy. People do. But I'm going to put some anchor points in concrete. And I'm going to put cross bracing so that these connexes can't go anywhere. You know, after all, it's got a pretty large sail on it. If the wind really wanted to, it could push these things around. I don't want to have to go through that hassle again. Nor do I want to repair anything that gets busted if that does happen. Therefore, I'm going to dig 4 anchor points for each connex, 2 at each end. This should keep this in compression, especially if I use this one and tie it over to that side, that hole, tie it over to this side, and then I fill in the center. That's going to be a pretty large anchor point. That's what I'm hoping for. Those are sunk in with rebar surrounding, of course, as you saw. Hopefully you saw that. And those are sunk in at least, 15 inches, 16 inches almost. I'm hoping that'll hold. 14 bags of concrete. And here I bought 16, hoping that that would take care of both sides.
Much later.
Scary. I'm a little bit scared. But overcome the fear, be courageous, and get her done. And walk on the purlins. And I got the last ridge cap done. Oh, that makes me feel so good.
Makes me feel good inside of here and inside of here because I'm almost 60. I know I'm tough and, you know, looking really good and all that stuff, right? Yeah. But I'm almost 60, and being up there, really put my thighs to the test, having to hold on. So yeah, it was not an easy thing. I pray that I never have to do that again. So this brings me up to, what am I going to do for insulation? Because I've already heard there's some chit-chat, some talk, scribble scrack. David screwed up when he didn't put insulation up there. It's just going to drip. Well, let me tell you a little difference between panel insulation and spray foam. because there is a big difference. Do you know what the difference is? The biggest difference between the paneled foam and the spray-in foam, usually that's cost. The spray foam is a little bit more expensive. However, the spray foam is much better insulator because it gets into the tiny cracks and crevices, and there is no split in between where the panels are. So you get a very even and airtight seal. Not so with panels. So I'm willing to spend just a little bit extra just to ensure that I'm not going to have any condensation happen on that metal roof and it being dripping down. Condensation, of course, happens when the dew point and the temperature surface is about the same or within 2 degrees Celsius, and moisture condenses onto that surface. Being there's a metal roof, of course, it's above, you don't want that dripping down onto your item. So really all you need to do is create a vapor barrier to eliminate the vapor from actually getting to that metal, which is colder, and condensing. So that's really the big difference. And I think it's much better to spray foam this than to actually put these panels up. That's just my preference. It is a little bit more expensive, but I think in the end it will be much, much better. In the middle of this video, I'm also going to show you what other things have caused me a delay. I had to lift this corner and redo the foundation because this corner was falling over. All of the outdoor furniture got put away. This poor weather door really needed repainting. I started another project, this one being a walk-through trellis. I planted 2 more giant sequoias and an elderberry I named Bob. Although the 4-legged demons, locusts, deer, have already stripped all the leaves off of it. I chopped and stacked all this wood. Now the delay hasn't all been just because of a rain delay or because I had other projects. It was also because I couldn't find the materials. But fortunately, I went up to Longview and I got the remaining 5 pieces of insulation that I need to get this other wall done. However, having those other projects kind of just gives me a telltale sign that, well, this shop build is almost done, at least for this summer. Because I am basically have run out of time. It's getting cold, it's getting wet. There's just a few other things that I want to button up, but it's pretty much going to be done for the winter. Yes, I do want to put in a concrete floor, and I have talked to my brother about doing a special project. Let me show you. As you may not know, but I'm going to tell you, this is the western side of the shop. So in other words, in the morning, this side gets sun. My brother suggested, and rightfully so, hey, how about you put up some clear corrugated plastic, you know, for like greenhouses or something like that. It would offer a bunch of light on this side. And I am definitely considering that. However, the front of the building is the south-facing side. And if I put a bunch of windows in that, the sun is going to come up over here. It comes up over the sky this way, and then, of course, sets down over there on that side. Here's a trivia question for you. So what part of the sky does the moon rise and set? Put it in the comments. I'll tell you later. Although I think it's a great idea for natural light, it will add expense, and it's also not as weather resistant as far as being almost impervious to UV damage as metal is. So although I do appreciate his advice, I think I'm just going to go ahead and wall that sucker in and put up the shiny aluminum faced, well, it's not aluminum faced, it's more mylar faced, but mylar faced insulation, because I do want to put up lights in here, and they're going to be those round LED lights that are very high output, low voltage, high output. And I think with the aluminum faced or mylar faced insulation, it will reflect that light back. And this southern facing area, I think what I'm gonna do is just put a bunch of windows up high. Eventually, I'm gonna have 3 big roll-up doors, one really big one in the center, and then 2 smaller ones on the side. Each one of them at least 12 foot, if I can. The middle one probably being 14 feet.
1 pair of pants later.
Well, it looks like we're ready to hang some panels.
And there's all the rest of the panels.
Yep, I know, Bob. I know. But this is, after all, only the west side.
Oh boy, I have to get way back here.
There we go. Let's see how that looks from down below. Well, this is the view from my neighbor's place, sort of. Fence line anyway.
I'd say it was a job well done. It's not 100% done. I still got some trim work to do. I still got the little bit of siding to put on the back side. I think I kind of figured out why I have a few extra pieces of short roofing material. I thought it was just to protect the other roofing material that's there. But no, I think that that was actually designed for me to cut up like I did that red siding and put onto the sides. Well, there was no instructions with it, so how was I to know, right?
All right, well, here's the rest of the trim pieces. And of course, this is the few extra pieces. What they give me, three pieces, I think, of that. I think that that was supposed to go onto the edge. Again, it's a puzzle, and you just kind of have to figure it out. So to recap, I still have the backside. Yeah, and I have a little bit of trim work to do. The corners, this whole backside of up there.
Here I was thinking that this is probably going to be one of the last videos for a while. But I think because there's still more work and concrete to pour, I might just do one more and then call it good for the winter. I say that now, and I'll probably be shooting about 2 or 3 more videos on this. Well, I was hoping that by drawing these bolts together, when they weren't really lined up, would get this tight. And you know what? It did give it a little bit of tightness. But I think the more permanent solution is going to be getting a ratchet strap like this, getting it really taut, and then pinching these together, maybe down here, and just welding this together. I think that will be the more permanent solution, and then I could just cut this piece off, and then this piece is actually long enough to do both sides in one shot. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. This is just not working out so well.
346 minutes later.
Yeah, baby. I like it. Of course, the back wall I also want to complete, and it will have a door, man door that I could go through, 36-inch wide, probably steel man door, and then 3 or 4 windows along the very top. Those things are going to have to wait until maybe next year, or, you know, as I kind of dibble dabble, that kind of thing. But as far as this year, this is going to be probably the last video that I show of this series until maybe next summer when I start some other projects with it. I'll continue this series as needed as I go along. So there will be more videos with this series, but for this year, I think I'm done with it. Thanks for joining me on this epic adventure. It has been a lot of fun. Well, it has tested my patience several times, and having it actually up and seeing it, it is really pretty incredible. Once again, thanks for joining me. Until next time, I'm Dave Anderson signing out. You guys be safe out there, and as always, God bless.